Greetings, friends. Recently, Switzerland, known as one of the world's most conservative countries, conducted a national referendum legalizing the deviation from the Torah laws of marriage, which is currently sweeping the world. I'm intentionally being vague in my language because I do not even want to dignify this subject by describing it anymore. I think you know what I'm referring to. What does this have to do with this week's Parsha, Parshas Noach? Everything. Here's a quote from the Gemara in Sanhedrin. It is taught in a brisa, the waters of the flood were harsh. Rav Chizda said, that generation, the generation of the flood, acted corruptly by engaging in immorality, and therefore, with boiling water, they were punished. The Gemara is more specific here. I'm not going to be as specific as the Gemara. Yes, my friends, the world was destroyed in the days of Noah by the great flood. And our rabbis tell us this flood was the direct result of widespread immorality where mankind as a group rejected the way Hashem created the world. The rebellion, which is sweeping our world today, is exactly what caused the destruction of the world in the days of Noah. Are we not playing with fire? Anyone who contemplates this situation must conclude that mass rebellion against the very foundation of our existence puts the entire world in extreme danger. This is not an innocent fad. This is life and death. And if you tell me that Hashem said he would not bring another flood to destroy the world, I will tell you that Hashem has an infinite number of ways of enforcing his will. Infinite. The first instructions from Hashem, which we read about in last week's Parsha, to our primeval parents concerned the institution of marriage. Can you imagine? All of creation is founded upon this institution, the unity of man and woman who were created as basar echad, one flesh, and who are to remain that way for as long as this world continues. This is the basic condition of man on which all life depends. Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, were actually one being whom Hashem split into two when he created Chava, Eve, as a separate being, a woman. But man and woman are still intrinsically one, and our job is to find the other half. The wisest man who ever lived, King Solomon, writes this description for happiness, quote, enjoy life with the wife you love through all the fleeting days of your life that he has granted you beneath the sun. In the words of Rabbi Shamshon Raphael Hirsch, Zatzal, other creatures beside man are also created male and female. Rabbi Hirsch says, but they do not need each other to fulfill their life's purpose, only for the purpose of breeding, and for that the time necessary do they seek and find each other. Not so in the case of man. The woman is a part of the man. The man is helpless without his wife. Only the two together form a complete human being. Husband, wife, and wife are the building block of creation. There would be no life in this world if it were not for the union of man and woman who are blessed by Hashem Paru Uravu, be fruitful and multiply. Who can have the temerity to stand up against the very foundation of all life, as if Hashem did not know what he was doing, God forbid. Destruction of the world was really not a punishment so much as a logical consequence of their rebellion. If you choose to ban life, you get death. It's that simple. And why should it, meaning the punishment, not happen again? The world has to contemplate the consequences of our actions. My friends, we have a shidduch crisis today. We also have so many cases of marriages running into difficulty. What are we going to do when two people get married? They have been blessed from the beginning of their lives. They're predestined for each other. The shidduch crisis and the attack on the institution of marriage are two sides of the same coin. How many people have taken themselves out of the marriage arena when they decide to join this rebellion? The one who decides he or she will not marry is the same one who is leaving his or her destined partner in the lurch. Our job is to contemplate the great institution of marriage through which Hashem founded the world. The world is built on marriage. If we view it with the seriousness it demands, then perhaps Hashem will have mercy and help us. In Gan Eden, in the Garden of Eden, before Adam and Chava ate the fruit which was forbidden to them, they lived in a world of innocence. Sin was not known in that world. Then Chava, Eve, began to think about maybe she had a little better idea than Hashem how to run the universe. Perhaps, she thought, Hashem was not completely trustworthy to run the world which he created. At the moment of their rebellion, Adam and Chava suddenly knew they were naked and they were embarrassed. Why? When you're innocent, you're not embarrassed. Rebellion against Hashem destroys tranquility. The sin which occurred in Gan Eden is what is destroying our world today. In the words of Rabbi Hirsch, the story of the first sin is the story of all subsequent sins. When we return in tshuva to Hashem, we will no longer be embarrassed. Which is the final bracha, blessing, in the Shemona Esrei? Shalom, peace. That is our crowning achievement after everything else has been accomplished. Do we want peace among men? Peace among nations? Peace between the warring factions of our own minds? Well, the recipe is tshuva, coming home to Hashem. There we will find peace, and we will once again return to the Garden of Eden. May it be soon in our days. Good Shabbos.